Thank you certainly for the warm welcome and for joining me here today. Once a year, it's my job as mayor to brag about the greatest city in the world, Scottsdale. It isn't hard to do, and Scottsdale in 2015 was yet another year of accomplishment. It's important, however, to place those accomplishments in the context, in the framework that can help us understand what they mean. So I would like to present these accomplishments as answers to a question. A simple yet supremely important question. What kind of community do we want? While each of us may answer this a little differently, I believe we can agree on three major themes. I hope we can. We want a vibrant and enjoyable community. We want a well-governed community that cares about people. We want a community that honors its past and protects its future. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Scottsdale I want, and I bet you it's the Scottsdale you want as well. Thanks to the work of many who have come before us, many in our community today, including a lot of people who are right here in this room, Scottsdale is that kind of community. Before I tell you why I believe that, it is my prerogative to turn over a few minutes of our time to my fellow city council members and some of the residents of Scottsdale. We asked them to answer a question. What do you want Scottsdale to be? Here's what they said.
I'd like Scottsdale to be a place that's known for its great architecture and for its great public spaces.
I'd really like to see Scottsdale lead the way and show the path towards better education for the whole state. Because I really believe that that's the one thing that it's one of the major things that we're lacking, and it's a major thing that businesses really take a look at when considering whether or not they want to open an office here or start a company here and remain here.
And I think that we need to recognize the importance of diversity and embrace that and help everyone understand that a positive outlook and inclusion makes it a positive community.
We need to embrace our past, our wonderful culture of being the westmost western town that needs to be acknowledged, along with our wonderful art district that has been a center point of our community for so long. But moving forward, we need to educate our millennials. We need to embrace folks and bring them into our Scottsdale fold and show them what we have been and what we could be.
Hello everybody, Guy Phillips from your Scottsdale City Council. Welcome to the 2016 Academy Awards. I'm sorry, it's not the Academy Awards. It's the 2016 State of the City Address with Mayor Lane. And we'll do whatever we can to make sure that Scottsdale stays a bright city and good for the future.
I want Scottsdale to continue to be business friendly with low taxes and reasonable regulations. I want the city to continue to be beautiful with no sign clutter, and I also want it to be adaptable for the next generation.
I want Scottsdale to be a place where its citizens share an extraordinary vision to meet the needs of today and our future generations. I would like to see Scottsdale to continue to be a place for a world-class education, providing a talented workforce to fill those well-paying jobs provided by those businesses that we attract because it is a very special community.
I see Scottsdale as an amazing community. I see a McDowell Road with Sky Song finished out and the empty car dealerships replaced by new homes so that the new residents are just enough number of customers that the retailers need to have a specialty grocery store and the neighborhood services that the neighbors have wanted for a long time. I see a vibrant, bustling downtown where locals and tourists want to come and see what's going on. I see our air park and our Shea Corridor continuing to be robust economic engines for our community. I see us investing in our aging infrastructure to maintain the quality of our city. And I see a Scottsdale with amazing transportation connections to the regional system.
I want Scottsdale to be the greatest town in the Southwest, a town that has a lot of attractions, a lot of things to do, quality of life.
I want to keep the historic character of Scottsdale, emphasize the amenities for families, the parks, the green belts. What you see today with the Hash Knife Gang, it's where the Old West meets the New West, and that's Scottsdale. It's a place where you want to live, you want to raise your family, and if you don't live here, it's a place you definitely want to come.
But we love Scottsdale the way it is.
Yeah.
Right? We love it.
The entertainment capital of the United States. Of course, when we're here, it is.
Thank you to those residents and the Scottsdale City Council members who gave their perspective in that video. A vibrant and enjoyable community like ours is a place people want to be. Scottsdale has earned a reputation in the Valley as a place people want to live, nationally and internationally, as a place people want to visit, and as a place people want to bring their businesses. Vibrant is the right word to describe our community. It means bright and striking, full of energy and enthusiasm. Each year, about this time, Scottsdale shines brilliantly in the spotlight of an unprecedented span of events. The Barrett-Jackson Collector Car Auction and the Waste Management Phoenix Open, the Scottsdale Arabian Horse Show, spring training. We handle it all in stride, and we look good doing it. We are capable of shining because we have made it a priority. Investing bed tax dollars generated by the tourism industry in venues and in facilities like Westworld, the TPC Scottsdale supports and grows tourism in Scottsdale. We're in the midst of another amazing event season. Our signature events are seeing record crowds and raising millions for charity. And don't forget about spring training. It's an even-numbered year. So the Giants will probably bring another World Championship season right back here to Scottsdale, starting here in Scottsdale. These great events are very important for our reputation and our economy. We also understand at times they cause some inconvenience for those of us who live in Scottsdale the year round. So on behalf of the city and our event partners, thank you for your patience. During last year's State of the City address, Western Spirit, Scottsdale's Museum of the West, had just opened its doors. We couldn't say with certainty how it would be received. 1 year later, it was clear that the idea of a place that showcased Western art and artifacts in the heart of downtown Scottsdale is a good one. The museum is spectacular and is achieving great success. It's another example of how the power of investing tourism dollars to support a vibrant place that attracts all kinds of people. Just a few months ago, Scottsdale Museum of the West announced an affiliation with the Smithsonian Institute. Affiliates are selected for excellence, professionalism, and the potential for advancing the Smithsonian's reputation and mission as the nation's history keepers. Soon, iconic objects, cultural treasures, and expert speakers from the Smithsonian will be coming to the museum thanks to this relationship. Scottsdale's Museum of the West achieved the honor and prestige of Smithsonian affiliation more quickly than any other venue in history. It was a great way to start 2015. And they began 2016 strong as well, earning the title Best Western Museum from the True West magazine, which annually selects those institutions that best keep the spirit of the American West alive. A great deal of the credit goes to the museum staff, led by Mike Fox, and their board, chaired by Jim Bruner, an historic icon in his own right. Jim, I'd like you to stand up. There isn't many occasions that I label somebody historic, but I just want to see how historic you really are. Thank you, Jim. Jim was serving on the city council when the city made another bold investment in tourism and events infrastructure, the TPC Scottsdale. When that course opened in 1987, the Phoenix Open began its journey from a modest event on the PGA Tour to the most attended golf event in the world. Using bed tax dollars 2 years ago to upgrade the TPC Scottsdale solidified an agreement to keep the PGA Tour event here through 2022. And it helped the Waste Management Phoenix Open earn the title of PGA Tournament of the Year for the second consecutive year. Congratulations to them. Just a few weeks ago, the tournament welcomed a record 618,000 people and crowned a new champion who hails from Japan, which will only grow Scottsdale's international reputation and following. These venues and these events happen thanks to the hard work of too many people to name here. But these events don't rely on resident taxes. A healthy tourism industry should support and reinvest in itself, and that is what we have in Scottsdale. Our partners at the Scottsdale Convention and Visitors Bureau, the CVB, are another example. CVB President Rachel Sacco and her staff have developed and refined Scottsdale's reputation as a destination for people who want to experience the beauty and sophistication of the modern West. They have been incredibly effective over the years, but like any smart organization, they recognize that if you aren't adapting and evolving, you're falling behind. So the CVB is completely reimaging Scottsdale's tourism brand. They're diving deep, researching how people around the world perceive Scottsdale and how we want to be perceived. They are looking at our competition and refocusing on the things that make Scottsdale unique and appealing. A new creative brand will be the result. I'd love to give you a sneak peek here, but they're not even letting me behind the curtain on this one. That new brand and all of its elements will be revealed in the fall. The array of options to experience Scottsdale's vibrancy are remarkable, and I have only touched on part of it. Much of that comes from the venues and programs managed by the Scottsdale Cultural Council. Led by an all-volunteer board of trustees, this nonprofit organization is funded by a combination of public and private funds. The Cultural Council manages 3 of Scottsdale's premier cultural assets: the Scottsdale Center for the Performing Arts, the Scottsdale Museum of Contemporary Art, otherwise known as SMOCA, and the Scottsdale Public Art Program. These go a long way toward defining our great city as a place that people embrace art and culture. The Cultural Council creates dazzling public displays like the Canal Convergence installation that draws nearly 40,000 people to the Scottsdale waterfront. I hope you join me and experience it for yourself. Canal Convergence 2016 opens tonight and runs through the weekend in downtown Scottsdale. Thank you to the Scottsdale Cultural Council for all that you do for making Scottsdale vibrant. Another part of our vibrancy is the Scottsdale Philharmonic, a professional, nonprofit orchestra providing free performances in Scottsdale. They've just performed this past Sunday. Joanne and I both attended, and 2 more concerts are scheduled before the summer. There are very few options today to enjoy classical arrangements of some of history's greatest music. I'm very grateful for the fact that the Philharmonic chose Scottsdale. Much of Scottsdale's vibrancy is seen in our business climate. You'll find small businesses, large corporations, and everything in between right here in Scottsdale. Of course, we have world-class retail and restaurants, but our position as a hub for innovative technology and healthcare companies has never been stronger. In December, DataFox named Scottsdale one of the nation's 10 best cities to found a startup outside of Silicon Valley and New York. They cited Scottsdale's strong relationship with ASU and the Eureka Loft co-working space, low cost of living, and the strong environment for business growth, when ranking us number 8 on that list. That's nice recognition, but we already knew that our business environment is more attractive than ever. In fact, the second Phoenix Startup Week, a regional grassroots festival celebrating startup technology firms, is occurring as we speak. Half of the activities in this valley-wide event are happening right here in Scottsdale. A distinct focus of our economic development team has been on retaining business already in Scottsdale and helping them grow stronger, and that focus is reaping rewards. A significant win is our success in keeping JDA software here. JDA is one of the Phoenix metro area's most successful technology companies, and they were one of the first international tech companies to make Scottsdale their corporate home. After considering relocating to other parts of the country, JDA worked with the city's economic development team, as well as the Arizona Commerce Authority, to explore Arizona options. They ultimately decided to remain right here in Scottsdale, and we're currently relocating their corporate headquarters to the Scottsdale Q, or Quarter. I look forward to helping them cut the ribbon there soon. It's been great to see the evolution and growth of the Scottsdale Quarter project over the last handful of years, and certainly our congratulations to the Glimsher family who owned and purchased that early, or I should say in the depths of the reception, and made it what it is today. During that same time, the McDowell Road Corridor, anchored by SkySong and ASU Scottsdale Innovation Center, has reinvented itself. Technology companies are finding a beautiful live, work, and thrive environment on McDowell, an attractive commercial and residential mix. The first 3 phases of SkySong are at 98% of occupancy. SkySong 4 broke ground in September, and new retail and restaurant spaces to serve more than 1,500 employees on that site and countless visitors will open soon. When we say that McDowell has reinvented itself, consider that the 55-plus companies and ASU units that are at SkySong, nearly half of them are in information, communication, and technology sectors. It's a very different atmosphere and a stark contrast to those of you who remember the old Motor Mile. The McDowell corridor of today and tomorrow is less about the road and more about the code. More apps and fewer hubcaps. More hires, fewer tires. Laptops, not hardtops. I could go on, but hopefully you understand what I'm driving at. As auto dealerships continue to seek freeway frontage elsewhere, they yield space for future opportunities, such as mixed-use developments with employment, service, retail, and modern residential components. Scottsdale Entrada, a proposed redevelopment of the northeast corner of 64th Street in McDowell, is an example. It should provide a wonderful modern gateway to the McDowell Corridor West End. McDowell will be mighty again, even stronger in the years to come. Across Scottsdale, commercial vacancy rates and values reflect a very healthy economy. As of December, the commercial vacancy rate in Scottsdale was about 2% lower than the Metro Phoenix average, and the values were substantially higher. Among all of our economic successes, I'm probably most excited about the Scottsdale Cure Corridor, the growing network of healthcare and bioscience companies in Scottsdale. The 3rd annual Scottsdale Cure Corridor event was hosted in December by the Scottsdale Business Development Forum and the city's Economic Development Department. More than 250 people attended. They heard about the amazing collaboration happening among innovators, bioscientists, doctors, healthcare and pharmaceutical managers, and investors. These are the people who are improving the quality of accessibility and efficiency of healthcare as we collectively drive to the cure. The Cure Corridor is more than an industry cluster or a real estate deal, or even creating jobs. It's also more than providing a great business, political, and market environment. The Cure Corridor is a collaborative, technical, innovation in the bioscience industry. It's an attitude, even a personality. What does it mean to Scottsdale and the Valley and the state? It means we have a growing bioscience business community and it's growing organically, that is intent on more than simple economic development. The Cure Corridor is scientists, techs, doctors, business innovators focusing on curing deadly diseases. The results are advancing the length and quality of human life. One indicator of success is that the Cure Corridor continues to grow. Nearly 50 hospitals, universities, companies, and organizations are at work here, and more join each year. Those committed to changing the future know they can find opportunities in the Scottsdale Cure Corridor. The spark of collaboration and innovation continues to attract bright minds. Scottsdale Cure Corridor isn't a hope, it's a destination. It has been called this generation's moonshot, but I am steadfast in believing that cures to deadly cancers will be found and that the people working right here will play a big role in doing it. Before I leave the topic of Scottsdale's robust and diverse business environment, I want to talk about another sector building roots in Scottsdale, cybersecurity. As our economy becomes increasingly reliant on technology, nothing is more important than keeping data and our data sharing infrastructure secure. Security Canyon is a new cybersecurity coalition in Arizona comprising an array of local firms and organizations. Many are here in Scottsdale, and all are focused on growing, attracting, and retaining cyber talent in Arizona for this critical industry sector. What good is any of our business or tourism success if it comes before the well-being of our community? We want and we have a community that puts people first. I have some wonderful examples in the past year. The story of the Wheel Inn Ranch has made headlines since June, when residents of a longtime RV and mobile home park were told that the land beneath them would be redeveloped by a new owner. They would need to find somewhere else to call home. City staff, city council members, and community advocates stepped in to provide assistance and continue to follow through with the residents of the Wheel Inn Ranch to make sure that they are getting the help they need. Scottsdale's annual Back to School event is another example. Dozens of people, led by Scottsdale's community services staff, worked for months to make sure that 800 Scottsdale children were able to start the year with the right supplies and feeling good. Partners from the private and nonprofit and government sectors contributed clothing, supplies, and health checks, making this one of the largest and most successful back-to-school events in the city's history. Scottsdale is a community for all ages. And in addition to helping our young people, we offer some of the best senior services and programs around. We're often mentioned among the best communities in the country to retire, and rightfully so. 2 full-service senior centers help residents stay connected to the important resources, but more importantly, and most importantly, to each other. Retirement does not mean retreating from a full and active life, and Scottsdale's senior services and senior communities certainly prove that. It's a fact, however, that some of our seniors need a little more assistance than others, and we're doing something about it. We're making house calls. This may sound like an overreach, but let me just explain exactly how we came about this in the most efficient and effective way to improve life. A Scottsdale Fire Department paramedic and a nurse practitioner from Honor Health started this summer making special visits to people who have a history of multiple 911 calls for chronic conditions. This team provides screening and helps them manage their health proactively. This personalized care relieves the healthcare system of unnecessary and unproductive emergency calls. But more importantly, it gets people on a path to a better life. It's just the kind of service that we should expect in a caring community like Scottsdale. Speaking of services, we recently adjusted Scottsdale's trolley routes to better serve visitors, businesses, and neighborhoods, including some areas with large senior populations. In addition, members of city staff are also hosting senior trolley tours to help people become familiar and comfortable with riding the trolley as a means of maintaining their independence, even as they grow older. Initiatives like these, which help seniors be happy and hopeful for their entire lives, are very important to me. For Our Cities is a community coalition that I helped found in Scottsdale several years ago. I've asked them to work with the city's human services team and other agencies to develop more programs to improve the quality of living for our seniors. Aging in place, you may have heard the term as it's called, shouldn't mean being stuck at home. We're making sure seniors in Scottsdale know that and have resources to do something about it. Another program that helps our seniors is the beneficiary of today's event, Operation Fix It. This program is started by city code enforcement officers who realized they were writing citations for people who really wanted to maintain their properties, but just couldn't due to physical or financial circumstances. These officers started taking a little of their own personal time on weekends to mow lawns and do basic cleanup. The Code Cares program started there and eventually grew into Operation Fix-It as we pushed it to take a new level. In 2015, Operation Fix-It put nearly 700 volunteers to work, fixing up nearly 200 properties. Financially, the program survives on donations from local businesses and other community organizations. Last year, we raised $24,000 at this event for Operation Fix-It. The program is more than fixing up homes. It's reconnecting people to their neighbors and to the community with a long-lasting positive effect. Inez Wagner is one of those people. Her husband passed away last fall after a valiant battle against brain cancer. As a result of that difficult struggle, understandably, her property began to show signs of neglect. She received just such a violation. And after speaking with code enforcement officer, learned about Operation Fix-It. Well, Inez can tell you the rest of the story much better than I can.
1 month after my husband went to heaven, that was on the 24th, October 24th, they came and they were like a team. It was just awesome. It was beautiful. And my kids are so grateful that now Alicia is offered to be volunteer for Operation Fix-It. Operation Fix-It not only cut the dead tree, they clean up the backyard. I have a dangerous cactus in the backyard, they took it out. I hate it anyway, I'm used to. And in the front yard, they did desert landscaping. They planted tree, a acatillo tree, some bushes, and the papers. That it looks awesome. The neighbors, they love it. Now they see a clean house. I don't think people know how much you guys are doing to help people, like you helped me. Operation Fix-It, I mean, you are really angels, guardian angels for the people. You bring light and hope for the people that need it, you know.
After watching that, I think you can see why I'm so proud of this program and put such a priority on making sure it can help as many people as possible. Thank you to everyone who supports Operation Fix-It, whether it's through this event, volunteering, or donating materials or money. All of these things are the marks of a community that care. If it weren't delivering on the basics, however, we may not be able to spend time truly caring for people in Scottsdale. But we do a great job with the basics here as well. Scottsdale delivers the core foundation of services more effectively than anywhere else I know. This is a well-governed community. Now, I'm not going to sprain my arm trying to pat myself on the back because it takes more than elected leadership. Certainly the mayor and council are certainly vital elements, and Scottsdale has enjoyed decades of positive and visionary elected leadership. Those leaders have hired professional staff, city managers, and other charter officers who have in turn developed and grown a municipal organization that does the job very well. We also have thousands of active and engaged residents and community leaders who truly make Scottsdale, Scottsdale. Here's one example. This summer, a group of residents started appealing to the city to provide public pickleball courts. While some of you may be unfamiliar, I thought I might get something out of that, but some of you may be unfamiliar with the sport. It's growing in popularity. In a city with a full array of recreational assets, people pointed out that Scottsdale lacked the public courts for their favorite sport. Because we listened and value our residents, we responded much more quickly than many people expect from government. We converted 2 tennis courts at Choya Park to 8 pickleball courts, with money already in the budget for the revamping of those tennis courts. The courts opened in December. Now, we can't always deliver a new amenity that quickly, but in my mind, it's a small example is par for the course in Scottsdale. Now, I know par for the course is golf speak, but I'm sure what it translates into pickleball lingo, so please forgive me. I'm not sure what it would be. Frankly, I don't even know the rules. Regardless, we always try to deliver on the city's mission statement, simply better service for a world-class community. Our city services across the board are excellent, but I want to speak for one moment about the law enforcement professionals in our Scottsdale Police Department. Our public safety professionals hold themselves to the highest standards. Nationally, 2015 was a very difficult year for men and women who wear the badge as police officers. So I want to speak very clearly. We honor and respect every police officer in Scottsdale. It's a difficult job and at times requires split-second judgment decisions. You have, as a department, built a reputation as one of the premier law enforcement agencies in Arizona. Scottsdale police officers deliver a Scottsdale level of professionalism, and we want to thank each of you for being a part of that. The foundation for all our services is smart and well-planned infrastructure, and that usually goes without notice, but we shouldn't forget about it. While California's drought restrictions made headlines, decades of small water resource management, including Scottsdale's water reuse system that is known around the world, a desert like ours continues to prosper. When we talk about a safe community, an enjoyable community, a desirable location for business or tourism, remember that none of that is possible without a water system that can support it. And Scottsdale has one of the best. Before I leave this subject, I want to applaud another strong fundamental piece of Scottsdale for which your city government takes no credit. The public schools in Scottsdale are terrific, coupled with excellent public charter schools and a variety of outstanding private schools. All meet the diverse demand of our parents and our students. We're also fortunate to have an award-winning community college serving our community and the Mayo Clinic's medical school in the near future. The quality of local schools is profoundly important to the health of the city's business environment, and Scottsdale's are A+. A community that honors its past and it protects its future. A community we want to is also one that honors its past and protects its future. The history of Scottsdale is steeped in superlatives, and we are recognizing some major milestones in 2016. Scottsdale Stadium was built 60 years ago, and not coincidentally, we're getting ready to celebrate 60 years of spring training in Scottsdale. Our city will celebrate its 65th year of incorporation this summer. Tomorrow, it'll be my honor to be part of celebrating city founder Winfield Scott's 179th birthday. I just want to say, happy birthday, Winfield. You don't look a year over 175. One community partner celebrating a milestone anniversary this year is not quite that old, but just as accomplished. 2016 marks the 25th anniversary of the McDowell-Sonoran Conservancy. Thanks in large part to their work, Scottsdale's McDowell-Sonoran Preserve is our crown jewel, coveted by residents and visitors alike. With nearly 50 square miles now permanently protected, the Conservancy remains a fixture in the preserve. There are hundreds of volunteer stewards are always sporting a helpful smile along with their iconic blue T-shirts. The partnership between the city and the Conservancy is one of the best things about Scottsdale, and it continues to have a substantial positive impact on our community. That's why it is so gratifying when the American Society of Landscape Architects presented its Medal of Excellence to the city and the Conservancy in November. The award recognizes significant contributions to landscape architecture policy, research, education, planning, project planning, and design. The evolution of Scottsdale Scenic Preserve required all of those facets. The preserve hosted nearly 700,000 people who came to enjoy the beauty of the desert and a network of award-winning trails and trailheads, hosted and maintained by Scottsdale's preserve staff and the McDowell-Sonoran Conservancy stewards. When people share a vision and then work hard to make it happen, great things are possible. Theodore Roosevelt once said, "If you think he can, you're already halfway there." I think it really is a special note for how we operate. A lot of positive thinking to get things accomplished. But continuing on with it, special thanks to McDowell-Sonoran Conservancy, their staff and volunteers for being a big part of making Scottsdale special. So thank you again. As I begin to wrap up my remarks, I want to spend some time talking about the future and the importance of the work to determine what Scottsdale will be years from now. The McDowell-Sonoran Preserve is an example. It simultaneously embodies honoring the past while preserving the future. Another, the Desert Discovery Center, has been an idea studied for many years now. Could be another Scottsdale signature for generations to come. Although its future is not yet decided, I'm excited about the fact that the Scottsdale is taking this big idea forward and looking forward to learning what the public outreach and process will reveal. It's the kind of thing that most other communities would never contemplate, but it's just the kind of thing that Scottsdale does. While the beauty of Scottsdale's Sonoran Desert and the mountains are impossible to deny, Scottsdale is involved in another conservation effort that is more difficult for us to see here. 1 in every 5 gallons of water we use in Scottsdale comes from the Salt River Project system. All of that water originates in the streams and rivers of northern Arizona. Forest fires, which have become all too common in that part of our state, don't just ravage trees and meadows. The runoff after those fires, heavily laden with ash and debris, severely denigrates the quality of the water we receive and significantly increases the cost to treat it. Scottsdale will contribute $120,000 over the next 3 years to the Northern Arizona Forest Fund, which will help to pay for a variety of efforts to make our forests healthier and restore our watersheds. Those efforts will improve the quality of the water we receive and could also increase the quantity available to us. A forward-looking community like Scottsdale thinks and acts beyond our borders. And our participation in Northern Arizona Forest Fund is a perfect example. Water issues and water policy are a particular passion of mine. We need look no further than the tragedy in Flint, Michigan, to understand their importance. Among my responsibilities as mayor is representing Scottsdale on the board of the Arizona Municipal Water Users Association. Lending my perspective to their important work, developing policies and safeguards Arizona futures at water supplies is something I take very seriously. To continue to look forward, let's consider some of the things we will explore and address as the year progresses. Downtown Scottsdale continues its remarkable evolution. As we welcome more employers and more upscale urban living in the area, we will face new challenges: parking, transit, marketing, mission. We'll continue to guide the evolution of our downtown as a place to live, work, visit, and enjoy. Can we make sure that there is enough parking, that it's fairly allocated and paid for? These are some of the important discussions and decisions ahead for downtown Scottsdale. In 2015, we once again asked voters to consider paying to rebuild and improve important infrastructure with bond financing. Voters approved 2 of 6 bond packages presented. As a result, several fire stations will be built or improved, and money will be dedicated to preserving pavement on streets around Scottsdale. But how we will pay for similar attention needed to rebuild and improve parks, police facilities, technology, and other infrastructure, it's an important conversation we must have as well. Other concerns, the city's unfunded pension liability. We can't afford to ignore it, and we need to explore reasonable and effective reforms to our pension plans and compensation policies. And we can't forget about transportation. We need to plan and respond to immediate transportation needs with transportation dollars, whether those are locally generated or County Proposition 400 or federal funds. An update to Scottsdale's Transportation Master Plan has been underway since last fall. Many residents and businesses have provided input, feedback, and ideas for that plan as we reshape it to address our current and future needs. That prioritization is critical because it will position Scottsdale to capitalize on regional transportation matching funds to accomplish our long-term transportation goals. On a regional basis, as the current chair of the Maricopa Association of Governments, commonly referred to as MAG, and their regional council, I am working hard to get the ball rolling on the statewide unified transportation plan. Doesn't it make sense to plan large transportation systems and projects collaboratively without constraint of municipal or even regional boundaries and connect all stakeholders with a comprehensive, pragmatic, and rational plan? I think so. And so I'm working to bring MAG and the other MPOs, municipalities, private sector stakeholders, the State Department of Transportation, regional agencies, and other organizations together to plan transportation networks that work more efficiently and effectively for everyone. We're modeling after some effective approaches used by other states, most notably by Utah. As I said in the introduction, we want a vibrant and enjoyable community. We want a well-governed community that cares about people. And we want a community that honors its past and protects its future. I hope these remarks have illustrated how Scottsdale is all of those things. We have wonderful visions and terrific ideas. But the essence of accomplishments is always action. Scottsdalians have been in history, as they are today, a people who have ideas, make decisions, and act upon them. They will get things done to move Scottsdale forward. By the grace of God, most of those decisions have been the right things to keep our city strong, prosperous, and safe. Together we make this the best city in the world, and I remain honored and humbled to be your mayor. Thank you for joining me here today, for everything you do to make Scottsdale great. Let's have a great year. God bless you, and God bless Scottsdale.